Hello, my younger friends. It's been a while since we've had a chance to talk. I hope you've been well. Tonight, I want to share with you just a little bit, maybe a few minutes about the possibility of these feelings of missing your ex coming back and hitting you right in the head, in the forehead, and making you feel like, oh, you really can't do it without her. You really are missing her. The whole ball starts rolling again about oh, I miss her, oh, I feel depressed, or I feel this and that, so forth. Well, on that note, let me tell you that is normal. That is very, very normal feeling that everybody would go through, and not just once or two times, a few times after a breakup. God knows how many times, sometimes more than the others. But you have to understand why it does happen that way. It usually happens when you start looking at the pictures, or when you happen to remember a specific happy moment, or you may be running into her in the street, or in the gym, or somewhere in the bank, or wherever in the mall. And sometimes even it's possible that when you pass by each other, you kind of, when there is in a close proximity, you will feel this again feeling a lot more than some other times you may feel. Why? Because there's a proximity of the physical closeness that reminds you of the way you guys were together, how close you were, how much time you spent together, how intimate you were. And at that moment, which is a feeling laced with intimacy feelings, hormonals are all woken up, and you remember only about the good times, the good experiences, the happy moments. And at that very moment, you will never think of any of the reasons that why you guys are not together, why you left her, or she ended up leaving you, or somehow you're not together anymore. You will not be thinking about those reasons. You will only be thinking about the good memories, the good things, and because that's what we human beings are. We usually forget about the bad moments, and we only focus on things that were good. I mean, that's a good quality of human beings. We forget. We forget the bad things, and then we can go on with our lives. And that can be looked upon as a blessing, even though it may come and haunt you or hurt you once in a while because you passed by her, or you remembered her, or you look at the pictures, or somehow you ran into her, and you remember all those good memories and not the bad ones, and that's why you think, oh, you miss her. But it also will serve you well, because that also tells you that you will forget the whole thing, because we are made in a way to forget things, forget the bad things. And since this was or turned out to be a bad experience for you because you broke up, and that's the bad experience of it, that will also be forgotten. Just as when you see her, you don't think of the bad stuff you had together, and you only think about the good stuff. The same thing will happen if you give it enough time. The bad thing, which was the breakup itself, will also, as part of our human beings, our qualities, will also be forgotten. So just give it time. Don't lose hope. And also, let's talk about what is it that you feel you're missing when you run into her, or when you look at the pictures, or somehow you focus on the past. First of all, it's the fact that you don't remember the bad things. That's number one. Number two, you're not missing her. You're not missing being with her. What you're missing is the feeling that you had when you guys were together. That feeling is what you're missing here. The investment, the feeling, the emotions, the good things. And that is what you're looking at. Not the person itself that you're missing her, but the fact that you ran into her, it triggered the feelings that you liked, and you're now missing those feelings, but you misunderstand or misinterpret, and you think it is her that you're missing. No, it is not. Because why? Because you guys are not together anymore. There was a reason for that. And that reason still is there. It doesn't go away. But because you haven't been dealing with all those reasons that caused you not wanting to be with her, or eventually you two are not together, or she's not with you, or you're not with her, you're not together, those very reasons are still there. Nothing has changed. You just are not thinking or focusing on it because you haven't been dealing with those reasons for a while. Therefore, human being forgets. Therefore, you've forgotten that those feelings or those reasons still exist. You think because you haven't dealt with them, therefore they don't exist. And therefore she's a different person because you're now seeing her in a moment and she's probably all dolled up, or she's nicely dressed, or she feels strong, or however she puts her image out and extends that kind of a posture. You only go, we are men, we are visual, you only go for that visual and you only see that, and you totally forget about the reasons why you guys are not together. And because you haven't dealt with those reasons, you think they don't exist and she has changed and they're not in her. And you just see her as a clear, no problem type of a possibility. And you only think about the good things that you had with her, and suddenly she becomes desirable. But in fact, nothing has changed. That's a moment that you're seeing her, and in that moment, you're only seeing a physical attributes, but everything else is still the same. She's the same. All the differences that you guys had the same are still there. You have changed to better, and she may have been changed to better, but still the differences will be there, because the differences usually are mental and upbringing and habits and philosophy and lifestyle, and differences in opinion, differences in mentality. And those things don't go away by just simple few months here and there. So understand, what you're missing is not the person, you're missing the way you used to feel. And that the way that you used to feel can easily or eventually be created with another person. Because this world is not made out of one person. It's not standing on the shoulder of one person. It's not one person that makes this world go around. There's so many beautiful flowers out there. There's so many wonderful trees. There's so many wonderful branches and plants and species, and each one are special in their own way. So don't ever think that suddenly you're missing something that you didn't want anymore, or somehow you're not together anymore. It's what you're missing is the feeling. And that feeling, again, give it time. You will be meeting someone and you will be creating that feeling again with another person, and you will feel just wonderful. The reason you feel this way is because what I mentioned, and also because you have not replaced that feeling that you're missing with someone else. You have not created that feeling that you're missing with another woman. And therefore, there's a vacuum there. And when you see her, it triggers the feelings that you had and you liked it, and now you're missing it. Of course, you won't remember all the feelings that you didn't like about her, and that's normal. And therefore, suddenly you feel a void, a kind of a lost feeling. And that's when you should hit yourself in the head. Boom, that, hey, remember, give it time. Time will solve everything. You will find someone that is more suitable to you, that you will not want to break it up, or she would not want to break it up. At least you two would be more compatible. And however, these things take time. Anything good takes time. You can't just walk in the street and find somebody compatible. Well, it happens maybe 1 in a million, but that means you probably passed another million that you weren't compatible with. So don't lose hope at all, and don't think in this way at all that it is the person that you're missing. Always remember, you're the one, or at least I like to say that you should be, and you are, and focus on your plans for the future. Focus what your plans are, what you want to achieve, what you're on the way to achieve, what you're preparing and planning to achieve, and how it's going to be when you achieve that. Look ahead, envision how it'll be when you achieved all those things that you want to achieve, and then in what circumstance and what self-confidence and what image and what position you will be, how wonderful it will be, and then you will have lots of other possibilities and choices and meets and things that will come up, and you will meet your right person, because you will be in the right position of your life and right capabilities, and you will have everything you need to possibly take advantage of the opportunities that you will be introduced to. But at this time, you should not. The worst thing you can do right now is to fall in and believe in the feeling that you have and think that this is the person that you're missing, and then suddenly fall apart and let go your sight of the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize. And the prize is what you're doing, what you're busy with, what you're trying to build, what you're trying to accomplish. And keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't let that go off of your sight. And then if you don't, that's when you become lost, and you lost. And you became a loser because you left the sight, you lost the sight of what your goals are. And you shouldn't let these feelings that come up turn you into someone who cannot see why and what he is striving and trying to achieve in his life. So that was a little thing to give you a heads up that these things can come up, especially if it's around holiday season. That could be of more of a punch to it. So because you will feel lonely and all that so forth. Just don't be depressed. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your eyes on the prize. Continue on building what you're trying to build, and keep focus and be busy with all the little good things that you're doing, and it'll pass. It'll pass and you wouldn't even notice. It may come again and go, come again and go. Just don't buy into it. There was a reason that you guys are not together. Stick with the reason, continue your way and journey, and you will find a far more suitable person and that you would deserve. Just be patient, okay? Have a wonderful evening, and hope you will take good care of yourself until next time we talk.